Alright. Hello, my beautiful creative creatures. It's Megan again. I know it's been a while, but I hope you guys will like the videos I have coming up. I got sent a lot of stuff, so I'm trying to record and talk on that. And this one I got a while ago, but I figure we'll talk about it, see what you guys think, and go from there. And then, yeah, that's about it. So I hope you enjoy, and let's get started.
Space. I actually worked as a realtor in Oregon, and I did that for a number of years, and I saw a good amount of success. But one of the biggest things with real estate, especially in Oregon where I lived, is the only way that realtors can get paid is by facilitating a sale. So there is no other way that you can make money unless you are making sales. And there would be months where I would go 2 or 3 months without making any commissions. And so every single time I did a commission, I had this like scarcity mindset around money, like, okay, I have to try to make this money last as long as possible. And so when I, got my commission, I really wanted to find a way to actually start investing that money. How can I make this money grow? And how can I make this money turn into more money when I'm working and I don't have to work for it? Because I was busy. You guys, real estate is a hustle. Like, I did not have time to go get a second job. Like, it was so much work. And yeah, I don't know how many of you guys have done this, but I went to the internet and I started Googling like different ways to make money, and I came across trading and investing. Now, I was humbled very, very quickly because I tried to learn from YouTube and it was a failure because, YouTube is just like, it's an overload of information. There's so many different strategies and everybody has their own thing that they're trying to teach. So fast forward to now, I found this platform that offered automation. And the automation was something that I was really drawn to because I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, I'm busy. I don't have time to learn to trade, but I can maybe tap into this automation. And I used it on the down low, you guys, because again, I was a realtor from Portland, Oregon. Portland is like a pretty small city. And I was like so scared to share with anybody what I was doing because I didn't want to ruin my reputation as a realtor in the city that I was working in. Because I was like, okay, if I try out this system and if it doesn't work and if I share it with people, it's going to be ruining my reputation as a realtor. So I used it on the down low for like 6-7 months, made a good amount of money. And I was like, okay, wait a second. I was like, this is so freaking cool. And I really started using it. The first person that I actually helped get set up, other than myself, was my mom. She funded a $10,000 account and ran that for little less than a year and almost doubled that account. Like, it was insane. And my mom, bless my mom's heart, she wasn't able to really teach me how to invest, but I was able to give back to her. And it was just like a full circle moment. That's when I made the decision that I was like, I want to leave real estate because I know that I have something really special here. And you guys, this was the scariest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Looking back on it now, I can't believe I did this. I sold everything that I owned. I sold my car and I went all in on this platform and trading and investing. And that moment right there, if I could look back on that pivotal moment, that decision to take that chance is what got me to being right here, living in Bali, having complete time and location freedom, and being with these three beautiful women who I look up to so much. So that's a little bit about my story. It's kind of crazy how I got here, but my little tidbit is take a chance on yourself. Like, seriously, do it. Do it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So cool. So cool. And so, all right, tell us, Britt, and like, if you guys are listening to this and if one of your goals right now is to diversify, if you're like the kind of person like us who is curious and open-minded and, you're always looking for different ways to diversify and, create income, especially, in these times and on your phone, drop a 1 in the comments below so that we know we're talking to you, okay? Because we want this to be a conversation. It's a real talk about real profits, and we're going to talk a little bit about our personal investment strategies, again, with the mission and vision to create financial freedom and to be able to create more impact in the world. So I'm curious to know, Brittany, were you like, how did you decide right away that you were ready to invest? Were you kind of skeptical in the very beginning? Like, where were you in your life when you decided to take a chance on yourself?
Oh, love this question. And Jasmine's story brings me back to my own story. And there's always like that one pivotal moment that takes place that like you could go back to that day, to that moment, and like sit with that feeling, and it's still very much so real. And that's what it is for me. I remember, you guys, and let me know if you can relate to this, because it makes me feel a little less alone, because this was at the deepest, like darkest time, honestly, in my life at that time. And I remember it was the holiday season, and it was
It's personally very frustrating when you hear them talk about how they go into these MLMs at the darkest times in their life, because it's always the darkest time, and how they have to spend oodles amount of money just to get started without the full-on notion of getting paid. So it's very frustrating, because they could be doing so much more than what they're doing. And I know the one said that she's a real she was a realtor. I don't know if she still is, but the fact that she did that, yes, I understand it's a difficult area to do, like, join and like be a part of, and but I'm pretty positive they still get paid hourly. Someone who knows that will have to let me know. But anyway, so that's just frustrating to have them talk about how they go and also bring their parents into it, which is not a smart idea in my opinion, because you don't know the profitable aspects of what will happen and how likely it is that they'll make a profit. You're going in just as blindly as they are.
Christmas time, and everyone is normally in a cheerful mood, and it's all about family and giving, and normally the holiday season is filled with happiness and joy. And for me, back in 2018, it was filled with uncertainty, it was filled with doubt, it was filled with not being fulfilled, and all of those emotions started to bottle up. And I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but for me, I literally had to sit down and ask myself, is this it? Like, is this all that life has to offer me right now? I was working 2 jobs. One was a full-time job at an office. I was a part-time spin instructor. I was paying $500 for rent, y'all. Only $500, and some months I couldn't even afford that, right? I was renting out a room living in Portland, Oregon at the time, and I was in my earlier 20s, like 23, 24, so like I had kind of adopted this like struggle mentality that like you just have to struggle, and this is a time in my life where everyone struggles, so like it's fine. And it got to a point where I was like, no, but is this it? Like, is going to happy hour after work, getting drunk because I don't want to go into work the next day and I'm trying to lighten the load from the day, like, is this my life at 23? And like looking back, that makes me really, really sad, but that was ultimately my reality. And so call it from like a grace of God or a gift from the universe. I call it an epiphany happened. Something happened where I had asked myself that question, and immediately the next day, I knew I had to make a change. Like, there was no, question about it. I said, okay, I have to make a change. And from that moment forward, I can literally sit with myself in that and know exactly how that feels. And from that moment forward, I started to open and expand myself to just asking questions. I said, I know this isn't it for myself. So what is it? Like, what is actually? And personally, I turned, again, like any millennial would do, turned to the internet. I actually checked my email, and I had gotten an email from like the subscription email that talked about making money online, and how this girl who was the same age of me at that time, 23, had made 5 figures in a single month. At that point in my life, I did not even know that was possible. You guys, I was making $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month being a college graduate, okay, from a great university. $2K a month, $24K a year. The audacity. And so I opened myself up to possibility. And ultimately for me, the decision was easy. The decision was simple because I knew that I was meant for more. I didn't know what that more was, but I started to open myself up. I started to ask questions. I don't know what you guys' faith is or if you believe in the universe, but I know that as soon as I started opening myself up, people were placed in my life, Jasmine being one of them, helped expand me and ultimately guide me to where it is I'm meant to be, which ultimately led me here. As soon as I saw the opportunity to invest my very little money that I had at the time, but to see that grow and to put myself in a position where I can win with other people, I'm telling you, you guys, it was so simple for me. And I think it just comes down to being real and being raw and being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
By the way, I just celebrated 3 years of being self-employed.
Yes.
So my 3-year anniversary
Huge.
of quitting that 9-to-5 job, quitting my 9-to-5 job, being able to travel. I've lived in multiple different countries in the past couple of years. I've been able to travel. I've been able to not buy my own condo, but being able to furnish my own condo meant so much to me after only owning an IKEA bed in a 10 by 12 foot bedroom in Portland. Like these meant so much to me. And so if I could give one piece of advice is just to ask the right questions, not only to the right people, but to be honest with yourself, right? Do you believe this is all for you? Do you actually want more? Because the only person that can give you what you actually want is yourself. And I had that real raw, honest conversation with myself. And let me tell you, I'm like smiling now, but I was bawling my eyes out, crying on my bed, asking for another way.
So much cringe in this. I'm happy that she's in a better place. I'm happy she's making more money. That's a good thing. Obviously with inflation, it's not easy. So yeah, I totally get that. It's just the fact that you come onto this idea that you can do it just simply by looking at someone else who does it doesn't really make sense. Because there's a lot of things we could do. Just because someone does it doesn't mean we're always built for that. Like, we could watch someone do skydiving. Not everyone wants to skydive. You would see people be parents. Not everybody wants to be a parent. So, yeah, you're capable of doing a lot. And if that's a drive that you want to do to make 5 figures, good on you. But not everybody wants to, and it's okay to get paid however much you're paid. And if you're willing to work to get paid more in an hourly rate job, that's not a bad thing either. It's just, I don't know, it's not bad.
And I was shown another way.
Yeah.
It's been really just such a beautiful experience and a beautiful journey of my own. And that's why and we are all so determined. We all have our own stories, and we know you have your own story as well. And that's why I literally show up every day, because I know exactly what that feels like. And I know that other people are in that position as well. And I think I was placed here to, again, show someone another way, like Jasmine did for me. So.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I'm gonna cry. I love this. I love this. And I hope you guys are on the other side there not feeling alone, because let's be honest. And I think it's so important to get vulnerable. And I mean, money is the root of a lot of our stresses. It's the root of a lot of the reasons why we say no to things that we want to do, like to travel, to be able to, I've got kids. So, looking at my kids and saying no to them because they can't have something. It's not everything, but the honest truth is a lot of what we struggle with. And that's why we want to create this safe space tonight, this evening, or this morning, wherever you are, Jasmine, in Bali, for us to have these conversations and to give you an opportunity to have options on how you can create more financial freedom for yourself. And we want to try to do this in a short period of time, which is like, I'm looking at the time. We don't want to talk forever, but we just want you to know who we are. So, Steph, I know your story, but why don't you tell us how you, came to become this serial investor who puts me on to these opportunities, which is why, you know, I love you so much. Tell us how that all came about.
Okay, well, I mean, I've always been like a workaholic, but always just, yeah, it's the programming, right? It's supposed to be hard. You're supposed to work hard. The harder you work, the better it'll be. Save, save, save. So that is what I did my entire adult life until I had my first child. And it was then that I'm like, I'm not working. I'm going to work. I love working, but I'm not leaving her. It was just our situation was different, and there was just no way that I could leave her. So I'm like, I got to figure out something to do. And I mean, I kind of fell into what I ended up doing, which was, you know, an online business network marketing for a product-based company, which I actually just fell into because I fell in love with something. I started talking about it, and like, you know, years later grew into something really amazing, which I loved. But there was something that was like, now what? You know, now what? Because I felt kind of a little bit trapped, as in I'm gonna have to forever do this still, right? Like I'm still gonna have to forever work. And I was starting to feel really burnt out because at that time, 4 years in, there was a lot of success, a bigger team, and I was reaching that burnout stage pretty bad. And it was to that point where I was like, what else is there? I'm like, there's got to be something else, you know, like help me grow my money.
I will commend her on at least admitting about burnout, because that's a real thing. It takes a toll on you. I don't recommend anyone pushing to the limit to the point where they overwork. I have a habit of not knowing when to not work this stuff. So obviously, like, I have many jobs and I still work a lot. And even though I don't do a whole lot all the time, I know I do a lot. But you gotta be able to manage all of that and also still have a life. So that's why I try to get as much done as I can at one point. But it's true, it's definitely programming, because we're taught very young in like high school, like with hourly, like 8-hour work days for 8-hour school days. So that's not far off. So, but outside of that, I get what she means. I have 2 kids of my own. I was a stay-at-home mom for 3 years, basically. Well, yeah, 3 years. And so, it does definitely, in my opinion, feel like a break more when you're working outside the home instead of inside the home all the time. Because you get to miss your kids more often and spend more time with them and focus on all the time that you get to have with them, and also know that they're learning and growing and stuff. And even if a mom isn't always at home, doesn't make them less of a mom. Uh, and if moms are always just intended to be in the home, that's not fair. They're people too. We're people too. We deserve to have as much say so of what we would like to do. But that's just my opinion.
Investments, all that stuff, and I knew zero things about it, and I kind of let that fear of, well, it's complicated and I don't know anything about it, stop me. Okay, and that's when I was like, but I'm burnt out, I have to. So basically, you guys, I just started really thinking about our financial system and just like, what am I going to do, and just, are banks going to exist when my kids are adults? Like, you know, is putting my money in the bank, and like now inflation's 9%, like, so it's going to be worth half the amount by the time that, you know, I want to pass it on. So that's what I was doing. I was saving all my money in the bank, like I was told. And then it wasn't until I realized, like, wait a minute, like this is going to be worth nothing by the time my girls, they're very young, by the time they're adults. So I'm like, now what? So I actually started investing into crypto, knowing nothing, just kind of figuring it out on my own. And so I was buying it and holding it. And I was like, okay, I'm just dollar cost averaging. I'm going to keep doing it until they turn 18. I'm going to give them, you know, a big old chunk, and that's it. But you guys, as you guys know, the market is very volatile. And, you know, there was a huge movement in the last year. And I'm like, okay, I'm good with it because I believed in the fundamentals of it. But I'm like, but now what? Like, should I just wait 10 years? And I'm like, but what in the meantime can I do? And that is when I started really researching what the heck are people doing to make money in crypto, because I knew that's where I wanted my money to be, but I didn't know how. So, one, I did start to learn. And what I learned quickly, like Jasmine, you get humbled real quick. And it's not a skill that's, you know, you watch one YouTube video and you know how to do. It takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of mindset, and a lot of times getting humbled by the markets, right? You got to learn your lessons. And I think that's one thing that I'm like, all right, I love this. I want to learn it. I'm in, but I need help. Can it be easier? So that is why I started looking for what I did here, guys. And what we're talking about is automation. And that was it. That was it for me when I found systems. And I've tried, I'm going to say like a lot. I was the guinea pig where I wanted to try a lot of different things before I told my friends because, yeah, you want to put them on something that works. So I tried a lot of different things and, you know, found some things that I love. And now, what you guys, this is the moment when you take the profits from one of your investments and invest it into another investment using profits. That is when the lights, like, it switched for me. And I was like, holy, I'm like, if I'm smart right now and I know what to do and I know how to, you know, move my investments and my properties that are my profits and like protect my profits, let it be easy. And like, like here we are.
Wow.
So it's powerful. Like, and that's why you know, I was like, what are these like wealthy people doing? They're investing. They're not, you know, they may have a day job, but they're not getting rich from their day job. And I mean wealthy, generational. They are getting wealthy by investing, learning the loopholes, the tax, you know, all these kind of things. And I was like, whoa, the financial system is crazy. And you know, it's accessible to people, but they just have to be open to it, right? But once that switch flips and you use your profits to fund other investments,
Game over.
Game over.
it's never the same, because you realize like I don't got a slave.
Yeah.
That was
I love
it.
that.
Of course, she's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. Yes. That's why we're here, you guys, because I am, and for everybody who doesn't know my story, I started in the online space 7 years ago when I had my kids back to back. I've never been one to be, you know, visible. I'm a very private person. I'm an introvert by nature. But, you know, when you realize the kind of life you want to create for yourself, a lot of what that looks like requires you to be in the online space. So I really had to make a decision and decide that I was going to create a new identity and a new story around the kind of person who I was. And I am the kind of person that turns my scroll into money. Like, I'm the type of person now that uses my social media to create impact. I'm the type of person now that is open and can get vulnerable and talk about money. And so when I shifted my identity, it changed my money. Can somebody like put that on a shirt? When I shifted my identity, it changed my money. Because that's what it is. You gotta be able to identify yourself as somebody that is open to opportunities, somebody that is willing to be coachable in order to change your financial situation, because
it's a lot like what I hear when I'm watching TikTok lives of Christians, of the coachability aspect is you got to be teachable. You got to be willing to read the word and die and like all this stuff. And it's like, we know what you mean. We know what you mean. You mean brainwashed. And if you think a lot of us aren't capable of understanding it, that's exactly what it means. The cognitive dissonance is there. Because a lot of times there's a lot of sunk cost fallacies, which means like people that spend a lot of time invested in something feel they can't leave simply because they spend a lot of time in it. A lot of these MLMers have spent many years doing the same thing over and over and over and over, hoping for the same, like a better result, and it doesn't work all the time. Most times it doesn't, because it's a 75 to 99% failure rate. Not success, failure. So for that to be such a high number, and they don't see that as being very obvious, is scary, because they're putting a lot at risk, in my opinion, when they do all these basically schemes. And yeah, but that's just my opinion.
I don't know what you don't know, and a lot of the reason why we operate the way that we do is because of people that didn't know very much, right? Like our parents. And so when you think about your financial future, unless you're doing something different or you're learning from someone else, you already know that your financial future is going to look exactly like the people who taught you. So who's actually teaching you? And I have always been a sponge. I think, you know, that's kind of one of my strengths, is that I am very open. I'm curious. I'm kind of like a child, and I like to follow people that are having success, and it's why, you know, I got here. But it's not going to get me to the next thing. Like I need to keep learning and evolving. And so when I see people like Steph, who sold her house, we forgot to mention that, took her life out of Calgary and moved her life to create this freedom for herself. Those are the kind of people that you want to listen to, or that you want to trust. And sure enough, you know, she put me on to a platform we all know as automation, and something we're going to be obsessively talking about and teaching on. We actually have a crypto automation code. It's a free manual that we are going to be launching very soon here, so you understand the basics of crypto, so you understand what crypto trading is, so that you understand what automation is, what passive income is, and how we're actually leveraging hedge funds. We're not going to get into all that detail here, but we are so passionate about the results and the real profits that we've been seeing passively. I'm not talking like enter a trade. I'm not talking like trade alerts and, you know, in and out of trades. Like, this is automation on steroids. Think about savings on steroids. Somebody put that on a shirt. Literally savings on steroids. And I would not be here if I did not see results and profits the next day. And that's why, you know, I've shifted over the years. You guys have been following me for a while. I'm not the type of person that will stay in anything, whether it's a friendship or a relationship or a company or a brand, if it doesn't align. And I think one of the reasons why I'm so excited is that, like, I feel like I found the one. And it feels really good, because this whole year, and I know you ladies are also on that mission, is how do I make this easier? Like, how do I let it be easy? Well, the first step is to remove the resistance around the idea that it can be easy. It's the resistance that we have around making money to be easy that actually creates hard. So if there's anything that I want to invite you all to do, is this: literally walk around and start saying, show me how easy it can get. Put that on a shirt.
Put it on a shirt.
They've listed like 4 different shirt ideas this whole time. Can you stick to one? I mean, if you're really gonna make shirts, please start making them soon.
Show me how easy it can get, because that's what we're creating here, you guys, is an opportunity for people to invest easier, to see profits faster, and to feel like they're a part of you know, a community where we can talk about money, where it's safe to want more, where it's safe to like dream big. And I can't say that I've ever experienced that safetiness until like this moment. So really excited to talk more about what we're doing in the space of automation. So maybe, Jazz, can you just briefly tell us what most people get started with when it comes to investing in automation, and what that looks like?
Yes, I'd love to. So we have an array of different trading tools and technology and systems that we can really tap into. But the 4 of us, we have our core,
How easy.
product. Yeah, we have our core product that we really believe that can help everybody for so many different reasons. It's accessible. There's no crazy upfront costs. The minimum balance is $250 to get started. It has a very, very, very low subscription, way under $100. And what this system allows you to have access to is an actual licensed hedge fund who is trading in the crypto space. Now, I know the
Wait,
girls
hold
are
on. Hedge funds?
Yes, I said it.
Oh my God. I love that word. Wait,
I said it. And before we even got access to this hedge fund and this technology and these money managers, they were only working with accredited investors. You guys, what I need you to understand, I've been in the trading space for 4 years now. I've mostly been trading Forex, but I have dabbled in crypto and I'm learning how to trade that as well. But what I've noticed just in the last 4 years is that trading and using technology and using AI and systems is becoming a bigger and bigger part of the trading space. There are there's a lot of manual traders and people who do really trade for a living who are using some sort of system or technology or something to give them a double confirmation on their trades, right? And so,
Jazz, I want to intervene.
Yeah.
Large corporations, large entities, banks, they are leveraging algorithms to for them. So the idea around, automation not being real when it comes to trading, and I know there can be a stigma around it because let's be honest, we believe that, if it's too...
I'm going to say it's less about a stigma and more about the idea that automated trading is mainly the route that these people are doing, when in reality, they're still having people do it. So the likelihood of it being all automated and stuff is very unlikely. And for those automated things, it's going to be probably very small. I'd have to double check that. But the people who know how to trade with people, like using people to help that, because that's what their skill set is. So even if someone knows how to do, even if a computer knows how to do that, doesn't mean it's always fully trustworthy.
To be true, then it must not be true. And that's another, stigma to break, because at the end of the day, y'all, if it's too good to be true, I want a piece of that pie. I want to be a part of that. And so automation is nothing new. Large banks, large corporations are being able to leverage technology to also trade on their behalf in these financial markets. Because let's be honest, trading is hard. Investing can be easy, but the most profitable way to be involved in any financial market, stocks, the foreign exchange market, crypto, anything, is by trading stocks, Forex. Mm-hmm. It's not holding and waiting, like Steph said, the next 18 years to cross your fingers and hope all goes up. No, it's about being proactive. And so I just wanted to share that, because what Jasmine's going to share with you right now in terms of the tools that we're being able to leverage, just know these are the most profitable ways to be involved within these financial markets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Brittany. And listen, whether you are brand new to trading and investing, you have absolutely no experience, zero amount of experience, or if you already are an experienced trader looking for something to help you become more profitable, the platform that we're tapping into has access to all of these things. Now, the tool that the four of us really believe is our bread and butter is this crypto automation tool. And that, on the flip side, what it actually is a licensed hedge fund, a team of traders and money managers who are actually going to be doing all of the trading on behalf of your account. Now, the most important thing, and I want to literally shout this from the rooftops, is that your money stays in your account. Always. You don't ever want to give your money to somebody. Let's say, I'm a trader, you can give your money to me, I'll manage it for you. No. Hold up the red flag. I feel like I need a red flag, because there's so many scams out there right now. And that is the biggest way that you can tell something is legit or not. And with this crypto automation, our money stays in our own account. No lockup periods, no have to be invested. Yeah, no penalties, no nothing. It's literally just like an accelerated savings account, and that's the way that I view my account, and I think with the girls as well. And so this is the product that we're leading with, because this is the product that can help anybody, no matter where you come from, what country you live in, how much money you have. As long as you have that $250 starting balance, this is something that can work for you.
Absolutely. I have a question in the chat. How would you take out money? How will you pay taxes? When it comes to withdrawal, when it comes to the deposit, again, your money is in your full control. It is in your own exchange. So you can deposit money whenever your heart desires. You can withdraw money whenever your heart desires. The fees around that are no different than the fees in normal crypto exchanging and withdrawing. Just like if I have a $50 bank wire transfer fee, which is kind of outrageous. Fortunately, with crypto, it's cheaper, but everything has these withdraw and moving fees, and so that's the only thing you're paying when you're withdrawing, which is standard. No lockup period, so it's not keep your money in your account for 3 months before you can take it out. You're in full control. Now, we won't answer any questions around taxes, only because I'm a U.S. citizen, Jasmine's in Bali, Janika's in Canada, Steph is in Mexico. Like, it's just so dependent on where you live, but you cannot get around paying taxes in any regard. So taxes are something that have to be paid no matter if you work a 9-to-5 job or you're an entrepreneur or you're investing. So taxes are something that you do have to focus on, but we're not going to touch base on that here because, again, we're in 4 different countries right now.
Yeah. Yes. And if you guys, like, if this is like activating for you, we want to invite you to reach out to the person you know, and we are an open book. And I'm talking, you want to see results, real profits, we will show you. And we want to invite you to reach out to us too. If you're just ready to diversify. For you, actually, right now, what we want you to do is go into your savings account and like add up how much you've actually made in your savings account, and then talk to us, because the reality is there's just other ways to get your money working for you. So this isn't going to take away from what you're already doing. Ever since getting into the crypto space, one of my biggest challenges and struggles was that I didn't have the time to actively trade and learn the skill. I get excited to help more people automate. And so if I can focus on helping more people automate with an automation system that actually works, then I don't have to spend more time risking and learning how to trade, but more time helping other people, and while my money is working for me. And so over the next few weeks, we're going to talk about, compounding our profits and, our strategies around what we're going to be doing, and other products we're going to be leveraging once these profits add up. And I know, Brittany and Jasmine and Steph, you guys are already compounding.
The likelihood of them knowing, because I'm not going to speak like I know any of this, the likelihood of them knowing what all of that stuff means normally is very limited. And because it's not their main focus in what they do in these MLMs, it's because they're mainly based on recruitment base, and they don't get paid to recruit people. There's paid recruiters out there. They're not paid to recruit. They're paid once you get a recruit and they, buy a package, and they start making sales or whatever. But outside of that, they don't make money unless they have a big team. So that's the only way. And the likelihood is very small that most people will make it. So that's why it's very much highly recommended to stay away from MLMs. Any type. Because they're not worth getting involved with.
I just got started a few weeks ago, and I am convinced that this is the one, because real talk, I've seen real profits. Now, if anybody has any questions, I want to leave it open to you all. Yes, Mrs. Croston, yes, message Steph. This has been really fun. Okay, the last question I want to ask, because I know we can talk forever. What is sort of like your, okay, let's talk about your investment strategy and what you plan to do with the profits you're making, and maybe talk about one other product that is available here that, will give people an idea that there is more than just a crypto automation.
Yeah, great question. I'd love to start out because I am very excited about my plan. I have some long-term investments that I'm not touching for the next 3 to 4 to 5 years. Now, in a microwave society that we live in, investing can be difficult because a lot of people want to get rich today, yesterday, right? And ultimately, when it comes to smart investing, that is just simply not the case. But what you can do is position yourself to have multiple investments, maybe some that are a bit riskier, some that are more conservative, and you can fund your conservative investments with maybe that more higher risk tolerant profits. And so something that I'm personally doing is I am leveraging one crypto advantage, and that is my long-term investment plan. I'm also leveraging another tool that we have called AP Social Trading. Now, we won't get into the nitty-gritty details of it, but it is more of a high risk investment and assuming and accepting responsibility for all risk involved. And what I'm actually doing is so I have right now, y'all, I have a credit card. I have a credit card that I've had for literally since I was 18. Right now, I think my limit's 20K. Right now, I've got a $7,000 bill on that credit card that your girl's going to pay off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my profits from social trading. I'm going to pay off my credit card with nothing but my profits. So my actual principal, my hard-earned money that I've worked hard for, is being wasted off of paying a pesky credit card bill. So that's number one. After I pay off that credit card bill, follow me if you guys want to be updated. I'm going to be keeping everyone updated on that journey. I'm going to be moving my profits from social trading to fund my crypto advantage account so it can grow rapidly and compound rapidly over a long period of time.
Smart.
That's what I'm doing. I have other investments in crypto that is more stable, and I'm holding that for a very long time. But when it comes to this platform, I'm really using it as a money-making machine to fund my life, to fund my investments, to pay on things, and ultimately just to live the life that I've worked hard to build for the past couple of years.
Woo! Yes.
I feel like my investment strategy is pretty similar. I use all the things. I'm like, give me all the things. Let me try everything. Like I said, I'm a guinea pig, so I want to try everything. But I am utilizing right now social trading, which is like a higher risk, higher reward type. And I'm using that, which trades Forex pairs, all that kind of stuff, you guys. And then I'm using that actually to fund and just to keep into our crypto advantage, because the crypto advantage is such a low risk strategy that I'm actually I set it so that it compounds 100% of my profits. So I'm using that as more of a savings account than the bank that was.
It's so incredibly hard to listen sometimes to these and like know what to say because they all sound the same after a while. They just sound the same.
Meet you guys. This is one thing that really, really like pissed me off when I saw like I had tens of thousands of dollars in my savings account, you guys, and I saw one month 30 cents. They gave me 30 cents. Like they burnt up. I was like, the audacity of like, and I was like, is this a joke? Like, is this a joke? This is not interest. This is stuff I could have gone outside my house and found that, right? Like, let's be real. And so I was like,
under my couch right now.
That's why I was like, no. They're like, what? And I was like, okay. And then I started just doing this research, guys, and I found that banks were using hedge funds and automation, and then piecing you off that 0.01% for letting them use your money to invest in the market. You guys, money. I was like, oh hell no, I'm cutting it. And I'm going in and I'm getting in on these hedge funds. And that's exactly what I did. I educated myself and I tried everything and I found it. And I'm like, no, I'm cutting out the middleman, you know? And so,
yes,
but yeah, I'm leveraging all the things. Okay. MMT is actually like my favorite. We had a really good week. Trading indices, of course. And, you know, I take basically, you guys, like, I have a principal amount in there. And so what I do in the very beginning when I start a new investment is I actually leave a little bit in there, but pull out profits. One, I can either pull out profits to use or pull out profits to fund other investments that are very low risk. Okay. And then as I, get my principal back, now I'm just playing with profits. Now, everything that I've invested, I've gotten back and I'm using to make more money. And now I'm just playing with profits. And that's when I use that to fund my higher risk investments. Okay. So when you get that, it's like your whole perspective changes because you're like,
God damn.
Yeah, it's like that. So that's what I do,
Our choices, our decisions are like, how is this money going to work for me today? Like
that.
Yeah, how am I going to make this one work for me today?
Yeah.
I freaking love it. And my strategy is Steph's strategy. Whatever Steph is doing, sign me up.
Copy
Like, yo, it's working.
Seriously, like, Steph, is it good? Perfect. Let's go. Like,
And
that's how I am with
too.
makeup.
It's
Whatever's working, like, give it to me.
Be open to it. Yeah.
I'm my like in extension to that strategy that you just mentioned that I'm getting into, is like I'm thinking to like sell my Range Rover. Like that's my investment strategy, is sell it, because I could be like, I think about what that money could be doing, and I'm very excited about it. So that's kind of
something I want.
I can understand where they're coming from and like speaking on where your investments are and paying off stuff, because I have my own debts I'm trying to work on paying off, and I know I've mentioned it before, but like with having 2 kids, I don't want to have debts around, and I still want to have a savings. And since I started working a part-time job, my goal is to start helping in that way, because the less likely of having like credit cards to pay, I would like to not have to pay them. That means much more money left over every month that we don't have to pay on. So if that's done and I'm able to save up to pay that off, and like in a year make a good 20-some thousand in a year at my job, I can work towards doing more. But like those things are important to me. That's what I want, because I want to be debt free but also have savings, because the last thing I want to do is worry about my kids not having stuff in the future and not having money. I mean, I save a lot of change and money and stuff, and people will be like, you hog a lot of money. In this economy, you kind of need to. And not because I care about money in the sense of money for me. Like, I want to have experiences, I want to do things, and I get what they're saying. It's not a bad thing to want to have dreams and goals and aspirations to what you want to use that money for. That's never a bad thing. That's very good. And I'm glad that they're thinking ahead. That's not a bad thing.
People to think about too is like, you have designer bags, like you may be like, I have nothing to invest, like guys, sell a freaking bag. Sell, like, how much old stuff do you have sitting in your house? Because when I sold everything.
I'm glad someone's mentioning getting rid of designer bags, because you could get a knockoff that looks just as good. And granted, I like some designer bags, but even I know I wouldn't spend hundreds of dollars on a bag. I have plenty of bags. Granted, I'll probably end up having them given to my girls when they're old enough, but outside of that, you don't need big, like, designer bags. I see them as a waste of money after a while, because why you spend so much money? I mean, I get it. A lot of people have it as a hobby, but those people are wealthy people. And it's an unattainable lifestyle, if you think about it, to consistently buy designer bags. So the fact that she said that, I commend her on.
And I moved to a different country, I was like, man, I've been sitting on all these things. Kids' toys that they don't play with anymore, you guys. That stuff went like hotcakes. Old books. I sold my old books that I was done with. Clothes, shoes, old bikes, your old TV. Like, stuff that you guys, like, I'm telling you, Facebook Marketplace, people will buy anything. I'm telling you, if you have, like, an old step stool that you don't use, someone will come and pick it up for you, and
They
give you
will.
money for it. And use that money to
I will admit, if you have stuff that's free and you're trying to just get rid of it or make a small profit on things, there's plenty of ways to do it. So you're not wrong. It's not a bad thing.
make more money. So
Yeah.
instead of going to go, oh my God, I need like a night job, go sell some junk
Mm-hmm.
and put that into investments and get it working for you. Because, like, huge, guys. It's just like,
Huge.
think about the ways that you can make it happen, because we're holding on to a lot of things we don't need, you know, clothes,
Amen.
shoes, whatever. And put it
Jasmine
into
her designer bag to make her very first investment.
I did that. I really sold the
and now
Louis
it's still paying you, right? It's still paying you. And if you want that bag in the future, you can go and buy it.
Still
With
buy it.
profits, with free.
Damn.
Smart girls.
Resourceful. So really, you guys, we've given you some ideas on how to get started. Yes, honey. Oh my God. And what I love about what Jasmine said is that it's low cost, low entry fee to get started, making this so accessible for the average human being. And that's what aligns with me, is that let's help everybody win, and let's make it easy. Like, I think we've said that many times. Is there anything we are leaving out that maybe we want to close this off with, Jasmine, regarding where I don't know, like, what do we want people to do here other than reach out to us if you have any questions, because it's here for you.
Start with really quick, Jasmine.
Get it, girl. Get it.
But I have to say, I would start off with asking yourself a question. Ask yourself the question of, are you satisfied right now with not only the way your bank account looks, but where your life is headed? Right? Because if you are, and like you have, you're tapped into investments, you have your own, Rolodex of different opportunities, and like you feel like you are set and you're setting yourself up for life and your children up for life, then fantastic. But if you feel like there's some holes and you feel like you can be up leveling and you can be expanding and you can be making it easier for yourself, then I want you to simply ask yourself that question. If that question leads you to more questions around how you can expand, how you can open yourself up, how you can make it easier for yourself, how you can welcome in more financial, how you can actually invest, then that's when I actually want you to touch base with whoever, you found this live through one of our pages. And then you just simply ask, how does it work? We are going to be, we shared with you on this call a brief overview of it. We want to share with you the information. It's very, very, very simple. We all knew nothing before we got started. Nothing. Like an embarrassing amount. It's like, what the heck? Jack thought 4X meant like the number 4 and the letter X. Like, she had no idea.
I Googled it, like, straight up. And it's like, yeah, it's embarrassing, but, you know, like, for real, like, open yourself up to being, for there to be an easier way. It's like, life is different. Life is different when you can do that. So reach out, you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And we are going to be sharing more about how this all works, like in our content. Again, we are coming out with a crypto automation code. So a lot of the terms here, even if you don't understand crypto, don't let that be the reason why you don't explore. And that's why we're actually creating this very handy, straight to the point, simple guide for you, so that you can wrap your mind around what hedge funds can actually do for you and how unique of a unique access we have to them, and why they're very, very, very powerful. Because the minute I learned myself, it blew my mind and I haven't been able to sleep. So thanks so much for joining. I think there was a question here. How do I get started? Just very simple. Reach out to us at
All right, so that was the end of that. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry I moved around so much. The next video will be a lot less moving. And I'm probably going to be adjusting my outfit as well. So I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry this thing keeps moving. I'm on a bed. I probably should get something that's not going to move it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you soon. Bye.